Welcome to Ribbon. This is part 4 C# tutorial, and today we're going to talk about variables. So go back to the solo learn page, and you should see basic concepts and a section called variables. Click on variables. Now I'm going to read this out to you. Okay, as you can see, it says variables. It says programs typically use data to perform tasks. Creating a variable reserves a memory location or a space in memory for storing values. It is called a variable because the information stored in the location can be changed when the program is running, which I'm going to show you. It says to use a variable, it must first be declared by specifying the name and the data type. A variable name, also called an identifier, can contain letters, numbers, and underscore characters and must start with a letter or underscore. So it's basically telling you the rules of a variable right here. And it says, although the name of a variable can be set of letters and numbers, the best identifier is descriptive of the data it will contain. This is important in order to create clear, understandable, and readable code, which is all this stuff is very simple. A variable is what I'm going to show you right now. A variable um, it's going to describe your data type. So let's say you have a name. Let's say you want to print out a name called Pete. You have a character called Pete. And since it's a character, it has letters. And letters is the data type. It's a string. Letters, string. Um, if you say you wanted to have the character's age, then it will be a number because age is a number. 18, 20, 22, that's a number. And I want to show you the difference right now. So you go into your Visual Studio where we had our console right line. You delete that, and I want you to type in string, which is the hold on, somewhere. Okay, string, which is the data type, and then we're going to type in my name. That's our name for our variable, my name. String is the data type. The variable is my name. Now, the variable has to have a value. So we put, oh, sorry about that, name. Then we're going to say our name, our variable equals, we're putting semicolons because it's letters. And we're going to put a name. And then we're going to start off with Pete. Okay, and then we're going to close that. So as you can see, the data type is string, and the variable name is my name, and the value is Pete. Now if you go up to here and you click debug, start debugging, I'm going to pause this because it's going to take a while. Okay, so you're going to get something like this. You're going to get no value. It's just going to have where the file is. It's just going to have your program. So you can click off of that. So what we want to do is we want to show this. Okay, we want to show Pete. We want to show the value. So we go down and we put console dot write line, and we're going to put the bracket. I'm not gonna call them brackets. I'm calling them loops. I'm so bad with identifying these symbols. We're gonna put the brackets. Inside the brackets, we're gonna put our variable, and our variable has a name. So we're gonna put my name, right? And you should see this in a helper in Visual Studio. It's a local variable. So you should click that and put a semicolon to finish it off, and go back up to debug, start debugging, and what you should see is a console with the name. And as you can see, it has the name of Pete. Okay, so I hope that's pretty understandable about variables. So let's move on to the next section so we can start answering questions. Alright, so let's go to the next section. Click that button for next, and it says which is a valid C# variable name. 1 star bad var person name. So you should pause it and try it out. I'm gonna say they weren't really too descriptive about this because is it a number, a letter? So I would say bad bar, right? Okay, so we got it right. But why I said that is because one star, okay, they said don't start with a number and they said don't start with a symbol. Okay, so I get that, but still, it's hard to be descriptive when, you don't describe the variable. But anyway, like I just, excuse me, like I described before with a variable. Now we're getting into the data types, okay? First, we started off with a string. Now let's start off with a number, okay? And the numbers fall under the category, the data type of integers. Integers mean numbers. So I hope you could pause this video and read through this line right here. Okay, so basically, it's exactly what we did before. Okay, this is the code above declares a variable named my age of type integer, which is a number. So if we go back to our code, right, we have a string that defines letters, the data type, and we have our variable name, which is my name, and then we have the value of that name is Pete. So let's actually do a Pete's age. How old is Pete? So first we want to declare the data type is integer, and then we want to put the variable name, my age, and then we want to set the value. Let's say Pete is 22, and we want to close that with a semicolon. Now if we run this, we won't see the age because we haven't did anything with that value. We just declared it, and now we have to execute that value. So you want to do something like console.writeLine, and in the brackets we want to put our new variable. So we're going to put my age, as you can see below, and then put semicolons. And I'll pause this because it might take a while, but you should see the name and then the age in the console. Okay, so as you can see, it says Pete and then it says 22. Okay, so you have the first variable, the name, and then you have the second variable is an integer. So everything worked out pretty well. Okay, now that we're back on to solo learn and finishing up this section, I'll tell you, it says remember that you need to declare the variable before using it, which is very important. Like I showed you right here, you're declaring the variable right here, my age, before you're actually executing it down here. Okay. So let's move to the question and let's click next. So it says fill in the blanks to declare the variable named num of type integer and assign 42 to it. Okay, so as you can see, it says fill in the blanks to declare the variable named. So the variable name is num of type integer. So we have a number, and it says and assign 42. 42 is the value. So we know we have a name, and we know it's a number, and we know we have a value. So we're gonna say this. We're gonna put integer for the data type, and we're gonna say since we already have the variable name, that line's good, and then the variable name equals num, and we're gonna say what is num equal to. We're gonna put an equal sign because it has to equal to a value, and we're gonna see if that's right. And there it is, it's correct. In our next section, we're going to actually touch on more variables